Race 6 of the BMW IBSF Women's Skeleton World Cup. High in the Engadine Valley in the Swiss Alps is the town of St. Moritz, and for more than 100 years they've been sliding down the valley to the nearby hamlet of Celerina. So it continues today on the world's longest, fastest and only hand-built track. This tailor-made work of art that's the St. Moritz track is our venue for the second and deciding heat in this women's skeleton race. Hey everybody, I'm Martin Haven, John Morgan with me. And John, what an entertaining first heat we had.
Yeah, Canadian Elizabeth Meyer, best start times in the first run. And she came down and she's medaled on this track before, put herself in a good spot. And next up, Tina Herman. Disaster at the start for this former world champion. That she got away with it though. Unbelievable speed on the bottom saved her. And she's got a silver medal position, and considering what she did at the start, she, to me, could be the favorite. But they're all chasing down Janine Flock. She's the World Cup leader. She's won 3 times in the season so far this year. Done well on this track every time she's been here. She's the leader, but all 3 have a chance to capture the gold here, Martin. Pretty interesting second run, and looks like the snow is subsided a little bit.
Yeah, it got heavy at the end of the first heat, but it does seem to have lightened up a little bit. Janine Flock by 2/10 from Tina Herman, Elizabeth Meyer. I mean, basically, they're a dead heat. Jacqueline Lerling, Katie Ulender, they are in medal contention as well on this snowy track. Anna Fernstedt and Kim Meiermans probably not, but never say never in St. Moritz. And some pretty close gaps back behind. Some of our rookies getting through into the field as well, including youth Olympic champion Anastasia Tsiganova. She is in 13th place after the first heat. But Louisa Ewald from Sweden did not make the cut. So 20 sleds to go and lots more sweeping for our hard-working track crew here in St. Moritz. Air temperature -2. It's normally around -10 at this time of day. Ice temperature -2. Ditto, it's normally around -10 at this time of day. Overnight low tonight, though, back down to -19. So that means the clouds are going to clear away. It will be a very cold, traditional St. Moritz night tonight, and it should be a beautiful sunny day tomorrow. Well, the track workers will make the track as clean and pristine as possible. This is a hand-built work of art. Every year it's subtly different, but on the same path down through the woods. So every year, John, they have to relearn how the track needs to be driven.
Well, it's pretty much the same, but it's not exact like we have on our artificially cement tracks that are built above the ground, or are pretty much the same from year to year. But Martin, they've changed the track a little bit from when I was coming here a long time ago, my first time here. Finish curve's a little bit different, but the history that comes with this place is it's pretty exciting, Martin. You and I are both a long ways away, but you can just feel the history coming out of the screen to us and what this track presents.
First of our 20 sliders, Heat 2 in St. Moritz, Data Zunter, who made her World Cup debut in the first heat, 5th in the Youth Olympic Champions in 2016. She competed in the World Championships last year in Altenburg. This is her first ever World Cup race.
She had a 5:45 start in the first run, 5:45 second run. Snow is definitely subsiding, Martin. You know, the men's race, we couldn't call it a snow race, but there was definitely some effect to the bottom times. This young Latvian athlete from, you know, the Latvians, Martin, are so strong in every discipline. I mean, except for women's bobsled, it's the only one, but I mean, in luge, 2- and 4-man bobsled, Olympic gold medals. You know, in skeleton, I mean, Dukars, who lost this morning by 100th in the men's race. It's unbelievable. That little small nation up in the Baltic is so prevalent in the sliding sports.
Fewer than 2 million Latvians live in the country, and yet they produce these great sliders, and huge ice hockey country as well. Across the line, Data Zunter, 1:12.84. First heat was 1:13.69. So 3/4 of a second of an improvement.
You got a couple good basketball players come out of there too, Martin.
Yeah. She's tidied up a few errors there from the first heat. And you can see how much clearer the track is, John.
Yeah, you know, you can actually see a little spray there. Keep your eyes on Nash Dixon, that last replay, the crossover, a lot of problems. There into the straightaway, little bump, but first time she's competed here, Martin, in a World Cup.
Alessia Crippa next up for Italy. She popped the groove on the first start as well, which is a real disappointment for her. It's her first World Cup in St. Moritz.
5:52 in the first run, 5:36. There's the difference, Martin, that mistake in the first run. If you got 1600s at the top of the track, that's 3 times at the bottom. So that's almost a half second that start in this half cost her in the first run. Half second more would have moved her up about 6 spots.
Yeah, I sense she was being pretty conservative with that start just to avoid disaster again and try and drive herself up the order now.
She could. You know, the Italians don't have a lot of good results in men's and women's skeleton, but you could see them building their program. Their top skeleton athletes not here. She's over in Altenburg at the ICC Cup. She's got one of the best starts in the field. Be interesting to see what they look like in 4 years, Martin, as we get to that Milan Cortina Olympic Games.
Yeah, absolutely right. They're building the program. Crippa is going to take the lead here. She's got better speed than Data Zunta at the bottom. She will come out of the final corner, just avoids the wall. 1:11.7 compared to 1:12.5.
Wow, so that's the all-start, Martin. So she's, you know, if you look at that 28.70, 8100's better. Wow, that's an eternity of time in the sport, Martin.
Hits the wall.
8100's better. That tells you that's, yeah. Well, this is where it all improved for her. She didn't come out of the grooves. Keep your eyes on the grooves.
She did.
She almost popped out.
Got away with it. Oh, and I thought she was being conservative. She almost blew it again.
This little tap here in the bottom part of the track where the speeds are 80+ miles an hour on this little tray.
Next up then, a battle of 3 sleds covered by 600ths of a second. First is Anastasia Trufanova. Trufanova starting her second ever World Cup race. Her first was here in January 2019.
Only 100th difference than her first heat at the start. The speed, not bad. This little straight down the middle, which is an automatic need for a good time at the bottom. She's 3500ths, and from what Crippa just did, I think this has got to have it, you know, this is going to be close between the two of them. Still 3500ths, so she stopped any kind of bleeding of time that she had a lesser start than Crippa. Now watch the speed here, left side of your screen.
Right on the left there, going into telephone, and a big skid from Shamrock to Devil's Dyke won't help her.
Yeah, but she's improving. She's got the best speed here. She's accelerating away. This is a much better run. Now, the last time she went down, though, Martin, it was really snowing hard, if you remember. She went late in the run. This is a much better run.
Last 5 or 6 really got heavy snow, and across the line, 11:57 compared to 12:02.
Look at that. There's another 900, half second better. So the track's faster. It's not snowing as hard, although we see a little bit there.
Yeah, no, I think that was a pretty decent run from Anastasia Trufanova.
This is the exit of Horseshoe, where you want a slingshot to the bottom. This is the pivotal part of the track, which gives you all the speed. Some skid down there into Bridge.
Yeah. And she was definitely on the wrong side going into Horseshoe as well. Got to be on the right. She was on the left, and that compromises her line. Maddie Smith of Great Britain celebrates her birthday on Tuesday. Will she give herself a bit of an improvement here to help that? She was just 200 ahead of Trufanova, our current leader, after the first of the two heats. Converting this year onto a Bromley sled for the first time.
2 12th place finishes so far in the Innsbruck World Cups is their best of the season, Martin, and neither British sled had very good speed in the first run.
She had a long
British
skid on
have
the run
great
down
results.
to wall.
I mean, the British have great results on this track. I mean, from 2009 through 2013, the British won every event. So, of course, this is the home track for Great Britain, Martin. Has been forever.
Pretty much, well, yeah, here Eagles, Sigulda tend to be the ones that all the youngsters, Eagles and Sigulda, the youngsters get taught on a lot. Maddie Smith, though, behind Anastasia Trufanova, hasn't quite got the speed we saw from the Russian.
No. Russian, again, all these athletes we're seeing now went late in the heat when there was a lot of snow. But Maddie's got the best speed in the bottom, but I don't know if she's got enough to maintain.
No, gives it away with the hits from Martineau to Portago to the line, comes back 4 tenths behind. So good speed at the bottom.
Only 200s. 200's worse than her first heat time. Remember, the other sleds all went 3-4 tenths faster. So Maddie didn't have the great run that she needed to stay atop the leaderboard. Drops 1 spot.
Yeah.
This didn't help. Well, not bad there. Almost like her foot hit the wall there. And then this is Nash and Dixon. That's how not to do it. A little skid here too. And before the timing eye on the right, that's right before the timing eye she hit too, Martin.
Yeah. Well, she'll be in Koenigsegg next week. Not sure quite what the deal is, who's going to the World Championships. Alessandra Fumagalli now. She was just 600s ahead of current leader Anastasia Trufanova. A real World Cup rookie. Fumagalli, never been here in St. Moritz before either.
Good starter, just like her teammate. Frippo, had a much better start second run. But the Italians have got some, again, their best athlete isn't here. She's over in Altenburg at the ICC Cup, but she has been posting the best start times. Valentina Margolillo, she was the best start in the last event in Winterberg.
Well, Alessandra only raced last year in Europa Cup and did the Junior World, so she's got about 10 races under her belt before today. But she's got good form, and she's not making big mistakes either. Second best speed. Fumagalli could hold her position.
Yeah, she's too far back. She might get into this deficit, but now the question is, she going to drop 1 spot or 2?
Maddie Smith, 4,300s back. Fumagalli, 6,400s back. Trufanova moves on.
Drops 2 spots. Yeah, she didn't do very well, Martin. She went 3,100 slower. Now remember, the first 3 sleds went 3-4 tenths faster. So it was not a clean run for the young Italian athlete.
Well, she makes her World Cup debut, makes the field. She will have plenty more races to come, you sense.
Well, if you could start the sled, you got a chance. Really low there, Martin. That really decreases your velocity. Pivotal part of the track, you got to launch yourself from here down with like a slingshot effect, and she was too low to get that good effect to coming out of Horseshoe.
Anastasia Trufanova leads for Russia, 5 down, 15 to go. For France now, Agathe Bessard, one of our youth Olympic podium finishers. Finished in bronze position in the Youth Olympics 2016, but a big skid there and another one. And that's the nature of that almost flat there, isn't it? Once you get a skid going, it's almost impossible to stop.
Yeah, she's going to be worse than 5,800s at the next clock. Has a deficient start time. Her father, one of the ice meisters of the track in La Plagne, France.
afraid this could put her right to the tail of the field.
Yeah.
She's struggling for control everywhere.
Wonder if she did something to her runners in between run, Martin, because she had no control as soon as she came out of curve 1. She was no control of the sled. Now she does, but she's way back. Second down.
Good shout.
You're right.
She's going to end up ahead
3 places.
Yeah, she'll be ahead of Data Sunta, but I think she will be in 5th out of 6 sleds at the line. She is. That is the slowest run of the second heat. 1:12.99.
1 second and 10 slower, Martin. The only person we saw do that in the men's race, which was during the snowstorm, was Sammy Meyer, and he got a second run because of it, because they thought the clocks were, you know, a little out of effect because of all the snow. I think we know where all the time
went away, and this is where it went,
right here.
Yeah.
Bang, and then she steers back into the wall again, bang, and she still doesn't have it under control down here. And this, I mean, there's any place you can't do that there when the speeds are so slow. But,
and the problem is there's no pressure on the sled. There's nothing to help you get control back. So, Anastasia Trufanova is still our leader as we get to the first woman on ice this afternoon, which was Kendall Wessenberg of the USA. Kendall's got good history with this track. 5 races here, 4 top 10s, but she was in 14th place after the first heat.
Yeah, Kendall doesn't get a great start, so then it puts all the pressure on her to have a perfect drive down the track. And, you know, it's difficult to do, especially when there's 19 curves and it's 1:10 long. Our men's champion this morning, Gassner, was overwhelmed, and he said it's so difficult to maintain your concentration because you're 20 seconds longer than you're used to. Last week's race was a 50-second race.
Big hit from Nash to Dixon for Kendall Wessenberg. Very low line in Horseshoe. Skating out of Telephone, Shamrock.
She's got a lot of experience and success on this track with those top 10 finishes. She's going to need it here. Down to 4. Best speed. Should get to the green numbers, Martin. Should be close.
Well, she needs to be clean down the straight out of Sachs.
There it is.
And clean here, Martineau to Portago, just avoids the hit. No hits at the timing eye, she'll have the lead. Yes. So she takes the lead, and Anastasia Trufanova is in 2nd place ahead of Maggie Smith, who has also moved up a couple of spots because of the disappointments for Agathe Bessar and for Alessandra Fumagalli.
3,400's better. I nailed that one, I think she said. Little mistake there, but start deficiency, but then she's, you know, really low there, Martin. Very surprised, low line, but a bunch of top 10 finishes on the track. She put a good run in there, though, Martin. Could give her a chance to move up.
Yep. Well, she's the leader with 13 sleds to go, the next of whom is another World Cup rookie, Anastasia Siganova, our Youth Olympic champion 11 months ago on this track. Uh-oh. Well, remember a few years ago, the Russian women had this thing where they were tapping along with their toes, like chopping with their toes to stop those skids? They seem to have stopped that.
Well, it's 2,500s in the bank, and, you know, she's got one of the better starts so far, but doesn't have a lot of experience here. 2,700s. I'm a Russian coach. I'm liking those numbers. Now see how high she gets in Horseshoe.
9 races she's ever done. 4 of them were here, the Youth Olympic qualifiers and the Youth Olympic Games.
Clean, 3/10 lead, speed, the best, pulling away from the field now, 4,200s with the best speed. She could be 50, 5,500s leader at the bottom, Mark, if she keeps up this. Now watch for the crossover here. Does she hit?
No, big skid though into Portago, and she keeps it across the line. Half a second up nearly, and this could be top 10. Don't forget, she was one of our last sliders in the first heat. Had a lot of snow to deal with, more than a lot of the others. So Tsiganova, who was the penultimate slider.
Martin, 5,600ths better in that run. And I think she got caught up in the snowstorm at the end of the heat. This was a much better run for this young Russian athlete. Good start. You know, she has the third best start of the run so far.
Working hard in that little curve.
She got away with this, That didn't help her, but she did tap and she let it go, corrected. Didn't try to fight it.
So she leads with 12 sleds to go. Next up, another Youth Olympic champion. This is Ashley Pittaway of Great Britain. Youth Olympic champion 2016, trying to hold her spot ahead of the Youth Olympic champion 2020.
Martin, we talked about it, that there's 3 Youth Olympic champions in the field. And it's, you know, the Youth Olympics have really turned into a great breeding ground for these future Olympians from each country. Good, Nash and Dixon, really nice, good line. She's got 3,500ths, but, you know, no mistakes allowed. She doesn't get a great start. Ooh, little tap there. 3,500ths, top 3 speed will give her a chance. Down to 2,200ths, 5th best speed. This is going to be right on the number.
And this is kind of like her first
Third
heat.
best
She had good speed early on. It drifted away a little. Is it enough to hang on?
1,600ths. Third best speed. Well, should be at single digits.
Yeah.
Should be about single digits.
She won't even have her. Oh, she's behind. Didn't even have her first heat advantage. Do you know what? I'm not sure that the British really know how to get speed out of their sleds any longer.
Yeah, she lost a lot of speed in the bottom. 2/10 behind her first run, or 2/10 better than her first run, Martin, but
yeah.
You know, we have that much 3,500ths in the bank at Horseshoe. You know, you're right about the speed in the bottom. And the British sleds, the men's sleds didn't have that great speed in the bottom either. Yeah. Good medium high line. Almost late, it looked like to me there in Horseshoe. Look at her rudder that she puts out there, her left toe. And she glides into telephone.
Hi, Mum and Dad. Hi.
So Ashley Pittaway slips to second. Next up, Great Britain's Laura Dees, 50th World Cup start for the Olympic bronze medalist from Pyeongchang. 2 top 6 finishes this season. It's been a struggle for performance Martin, the last 2 or 3 years.
She's been very disappointing so far this year. And she did win a medal on this, 2014-15. She won a bronze medal in the event here. So she does have some success here, but could this be another British sled just not having speed? Because this athlete here certainly has the experience.
Well, her last World Cup podium was in December 2019 in Calgary. That's a long while ago. We can now, unfortunately, add Calgary to the list of tracks that we've seen many races at, John, that no longer is viable.
1,600ths lead, but Martin down to 9th best speed. This is not looking good for Laura to maintain.
No, and too many mistakes creeping in. I don't know whether she'd set the sled up with less control for better speed at the bottom. Didn't work.
Mistake.
Hits from Martineau to Portago.
Wow,
4
falls
spots.
3 places. Wow, 7th best time of the run. Wow, disappointing. This is an athlete.
Nearly 8/10 of a second slower, John. Than her
55 and 14 is 69, 7/10 slower than her first run, when most athletes are going better. A lot of mistakes here. This skid here, Martin, down at the top of the track, and again, twice. Those are no-nos, and then this tap here, not the way you want to use to accelerate on the bottom part of the track.
So Laura Dees drops 4 spots. Ashley Pittaway of Great Britain, the 2016 Youth Olympic champion, chasing Anastasia Tsiganova, the reigning Youth Olympic champion. 10 to go. Jacqueline Laberge of Canada didn't make the cut in her World Cup debut in Winterberg last week.
Had the 3rd best start of the first run, 5:34, 5:27 of the first run, 700 slower. That's a lot. You know, a couple hundred slower, faster either way is the norm. So she might have taken a conservative line there, Martin. We have seen some people come out of the grooves up there. So that might be why some of the athletes are a little slower in the second run. Big lead.
And that'll still see her 4th or 5th fastest of all our starters.
Watch your line.
Still
medium high?
Yeah.
Yes. 3,800s. It's come back a little bit. Second best speed is a good sign. See if she can keep that 3,000s lead at the next clock. 38. She's maintained her lead. 4th best. Should be enough to be in the lead, Martin.
She had 4 tenths over Tsiganova from the first heat. She's just about got all of it alive. The speed isn't great, but it'll be enough. Russian
race within a race.
1300. She went from 4 tenths up to 1300s up on Tsiganova. So
1100s worse in the second.
That means that Anastasia
run, Martin.
Yeah, Anastasia Tsiganova of Russia on her World Cup debut will be a top 10 finisher, and so too will Elena Tararechenkova.
Good medium-high line. I like that line, so you can dive out of here, crossover into telephone. I say that's the slingshot effect on the bottom part of the track. This is not a slingshot effect, though, being that high in the Martineau curve right there before the finish line.
Well, her World Cup best was 7th in Innsbruck in December. Let's see if she can rise to that. Hannah Neisser next for Germany. Had 1200ths of a second in hand. She was 8th after the first heat, ahead of Tararechenkova.
Young German athlete, doesn't get the great starts, but none of the German females do, and they still have unbelievable speeds on the bottom part of the track. German teammate Gassner.
3 tenths slower than Tararechenkova, and yet somehow outdrove her down the track.
100th in the lead now. Line. Nash Dixon was quiet, very good. Let's see what she does here. Pretty good. 2,500s lead. This got to be big speed. It is. She's flying, Martin.
Well, that's got to be worrying for Janine Flock, because if Hannah Neisser, with her lack of experience, has got this speed, how much more is Tina Hermann going to have from silver medal position after the first heat?
I'm betting on Tina Hermann because she had a disaster.
Yeah.
Big speed by this young German athlete here. 1:10.58, Martin. Wow. 42, 6,400s better.
Yeah.
6,400s better in this heat.
64, yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah. That is a big improvement,
Big improvement
for Hannah
in the second
Neisser.
run. Yeah, 6 tenths. Well, when you're a young 20-year-old and you're worried about popping out of the grooves, so you might give up some time at the start. Look at the eyes. And now into horseshoe. Looks like a medium low line, little rudder drag there with the left foot, and then into telephone. And
yeah. All sorts of corrections there from Hannah Neisser. Next up, tight battle between Kim Malmens and Anna Fernstedt, a Belgian and a Czech who both started sliding in the German program in Königssee. 5:37 getaway for Malmens.
9th place in this race last year. Pretty good World Cup season to date.
Well, she only had a 10th over Hannah Neisser from the first heat. It's out to 3500s, but she needs to be good below horseshoe.
Milemans is a speed merchant. Ooh, a lot of scratch in there, though. And Sunny.
Gonna need 3/10 here in the horseshoe. And a nice landing into telephone.
Game on here, Martin. Going to be close. Hannah was flying on the bottom part of the track. Down to 5. Second best
Not
speed.
enough speed.
I like Hannah Neis's chances here. Milemans might be just about 10-1500s back.
Contact between Martineau and Portago, and across the line, second place. So
she went better, Martin, by 1800s, but Hannah Neis went better by 6/10. So, you know, wasn't that bad of a heat for Kim Milemans. Just that the German was so much better.
Well, 6/10 ahead of Hannah Neisser after the first heat was Tina Hermann in second place. Unless the rest of the top 5 produced big results, Hannah Neisser could be in the leaders box a few more sleds.
Not too many mistakes made here by this Belgian athlete.
So Hannah Neisser of Germany leads. Next up, Anna Fernstedt of the Czech Republic. 6th after the first heat. 1200s, I beg your pardon, ahead of Hannah Neisser from Germany.
Well, she's going to get a bad start, Martin. She had the 21st best start in the first heat, but she's one of these speed merchants that she's a great glider down the track. And, you know, I don't want to jinx her, but you probably aren't going to see too much variance in the direction the sled's going in, because she knows how to be very quiet as she lies on that little tray. And she gets great speeds. But you give up so much time at the start. But she gets through here. Look at how quiet she is here. Watch this line, medium high usually. There it is. Perfect exit. She's 200s back, but check the speed out. Second best speed. Tap there. But this is where she does her magic, Martin, this part of the track. Let's see if she can do it. 8, she's losing back more.
Oh, little skid there. Second best speed. Not sure she's going to catch Hannah Neisser from here. Neisser's going to lead. And it is second place for Anna Fernstedt.
She went 2800s better. But, you know, again, Hannah Neis went 6/10 better, Martin. That's the difference. It's not like Anna made any mistakes there. That was a pretty much average what everybody else is doing, improving by 2 or 3/10. But the young German athlete is in the leaders box. She had a unbelievable run. That's why she's in the leaders box. Look how quiet she is in this sled. Look at her head's down, not looking. Look at how far that head's. Now she peeks up to get off the curve. Little tap here. That was costly.
5 sleds to go. Katie Eulander, the race winner here in 2008's February race. Let's see what the American can do here. Her second World Cup in 3 years.
She also won a bronze medal in the World Championships here too, right?
Yeah,
2007
World Championship bronze.
That her teammate Noelle Picus-Pace won the gold medal here. It was a great day for the U.S. Katie, as an experienced slider as you get, her start time, you know, in the first run, the 9th best start. One of the most experienced. She's probably got more. She's probably got more trips down this track than anybody.
Well, she raced in the Worlds in 2007. She raced in 2013. So did Janine Flock in the Worlds. And they're the only 2 athletes who are still competing from that field.
Boy, the 10th best speed, 3100ths. But that 10th best speed, that could come down here, down to 11th, 4th best speed. It's going to be close.
This is where she made her speed in the first heat. Let's see if she's still got enough to hang on ahead of Hannah Neisser. It is going to be very close, isn't it?
right now.
Many ties in St. Moritz, but she's 400ths of a second back. Helen Smith, the coach, with a little ripple of applause. Second place for Katie Uhlaender with 4 to go. Hannah Neisser, the leader, is 1 sled away from the medals. Darn it, says Katie.
Well, it wasn't that Katie did that bad. It's just how good Hannah Neisser did. You know, you can't fault much of this run. I mean, you know, Katie's a glider. She knows how to get around the horseshoe curve like you see here. Quiet, her head's down. And watch her peek up here a little bit in the outlet. Boy, she looks a little late there, Martin.
Yeah, well, she
Comes
really
away
fell
okay.
out to Dixon, and that left her all over the place, down to horseshoe. And if you don't build speed out of horseshoe, then you lose speed out of horseshoe. So, 4 sleds to go. Jacqueline Lurling, who has never won on this track, lies in 4th place, 1100ths out of the medals. It's her teammate Hannah Neisser who leads, and it is still snowing softly here in the Engadine Valley.
Well, this lady here does not get very good starts, Martin. But boy, can she find big speed in the bottom like her teammate, Tina Herman. And between them, they got about 4 world championships in the last 5 years. So the only person that's really unseated them.
She is the 3rd of our Youth Olympic champions. She was the 2012 Youth Olympic champion.
Huge half-second lead. And Martin, this is where she starts to turn on the afterburners here. Tallest athlete in the field. A lot of scratching there. 4,300, surprise. Only the 3rd best speed.
She needs to find more to get into the medals.
She's pulling away now, Martin. She's going to get this out to 50/100s. This is where she excels. High speed part of any track. Jacqueline Lurling is a great merchant of speed, and on this super speedway, she lost a little bit back there.
That's not enough for a medal. Hannah Neisser came down 1:10.58. That was the sort of run that Jacqueline Lurling needed. 1:10.8. Oh, I'm not sure that's enough.
Yeah. No, Martin, she was 600 slower.
Go, but yeah.
Martin, she was 600 slower. Now remember, Hannah Neisser went 6/10ths better. That mistake right there is not normal for a slider of Jacqueline Lurling's talent. And here we heard a lot of scratching here.
Line. Yeah.
Look at her come up there at the end. And then she tapped before she got onto the take-on a telephone. Not a lot of success on this track for her.
Elizabeth Meyer, 3 career wins. She has had medals here in St. Moritz, but never victory. She lies in 3rd place after the first of our 2 heats.
Best start in the first run, but not the best start in the second run. That is Laura Deese with the best start of the second run. But Elizabeth, as you said, medaled on this track before, but that was before she became a mother. So this could be her first medal ever as a mother.
And before she became
medals in her hands right now.
Yeah,
that's a good play on words. Martin, this is 4,200's lead. You think that should be safe, but with a mistake like that right there, speed, gonna need top 3 speed here in the exit to be safe. 3,900's lead, top 4 speed.
Close.
Exit, that was pretty good at Shamrock. 2,900, 8th best speed. It's deteriorating.
Oh, little touch.
Ooh, she's late there.
The fast corners. This is going to be very close to the line for Elizabeth Meyer. All of that skidding into the Sachs curve. Lurling or Meyer? Lurling leads. Meyer drops 4 spots. She's out of the medals.
Wow. 17th best speed. Martin, we saw them. We saw the mistakes up there on the bottom part of the track. That was the key.
It's those fast right-handers, Leap, Bridge, and Sachs. And the skids in there just drag the speed out of your sled.
The start, great, second best start. So she had the first and second best start of the 2 heats. That's intact. The mistakes were made down here. This is down near Bridge, or that's Nash and Dixon. Mistake there.
Yep.
And then down here,
Late.
This is uncanny that she would do that late and leap. Now watch the next curve, but they didn't show it, but.
Yeah. So we will have 2 German sliders on the podium at least. Jacqueline Lurling leads Hannah Neisser. Tina Hermann next to go. Popped the groove in the first heat, somehow still finished second.
53, this time a 45. And she's in a lot better mood now than she was at this spot in the first heat when she almost ended her chance with that disaster at the start, Martin. But Martin, she corrected that mistake pretty well, because most people would have given up.
Well, we haven't had a German podium sweep on this track in 15 years in women's skeleton. It is possible today, though.
Well, it's Janine Flock's the only person who can stop that. But this lady here, 5,300s lead, best speed. This is where she motored in the first heat. And
yeah,
I said
Flock
at the end of the first heat,
broke up last year's
the first heat, I thought she had a...
Yeah, Tina Hermann, you're right, John. She's got a great chance.
Big speed in the bottom. Nobody's had this type. Yeah. This was my pick to win after the first heat. Look at that. Martin, she went 5,400s better, 5,600s better. Wow. Elizabeth Meyer went, almost. That's a gold.
Yeah, I think that is a second straight gold in St. Moritz for Tina Hermann, who still shakes her head. I'm not quite sure what she needs to be happy with the run.
You know, she's the epitome of second. Martin, she's the epitome of second place as the first loser. She is so competitive, and she was so angry with her first heat, and she was second. You know, but these lines here, a couple taps here and there, that's through Portago. You know,
I think she might have enough with that. Janine Flock is going to need a track record pretty much to seal this. Can she claim her 4th win in 7 races here?
Oh, that's a little drift there. She's got 3,100ths in the bank. The velocity there is very good, though, Martin, for the start that she had, which was the 6th best start, and she has the 3rd best velocity. 3,500 lead still. Look how quiet she sits in the sled. Down to 33. What kind of line? She get through Nash and Dixon? Pretty quiet. Yeah, now the medium-high line is what she takes. 2,400s, 4th best
speeding everywhere. She hasn't got the control. She's trimmed out for speed. Skidding everywhere. The gap will be down into the red. This is goal for Tina Hermann.
I'm liking it.
Janine Flock is not coming back. She's gone into the red. The speed isn't there. Hermann was fastest. It is goal for Tina Hermann. And just Janine Flock finish on the podium. Yes, in the silver medal position. So Tina Hermann takes her first win of the season. Janine Flock, another podium. That's her first silver with 3 wins and 2 bronze so far this season.
Okay, she says second. Okay, Janine, she World Cup leader. She'll keep that yellow bib, but I think the second half of the year we're going to see a lot of Tina Hermann coming on. That was pretty impressive. You know, a couple mistakes by Janine Flock down here, but, you know, normally Tina Hermann didn't make that mistake in the first heat at the start. I think this would have been Tina Hermann's race in both runs.
Yeah, well, Janine Flock, again, it looked like she just didn't have the control of the sled at speed at the bottom that Tina Hermann did. So something there slightly in the setup, but Tina Hermann, her first gold medal of the season, and her first since winning the World Championships in Altenburg. And of course, we head back to Altenburg for the Worlds at the end of this year. But Tina Hermann, 2 straight wins in St. Moritz. Janine Flock knows what that is like. She did it in 2015 and 2016. Tina Hermann now 2020 and 2021. And again, Jacqueline Lurling on the podium in 3rd place this year, as she was 2 years ago. Last season, she took the silver medal. Lurling yet to win on this track.
Well, she's a happy lady now, but during the race, she's not happy unless she's perfect. That's how competitive that young German athlete is.
Tina Hermann, the winner from Janine Flock and Jacqueline Lurling. Hannah Neisser climbing up to 4th. Katie Eulander, the best race of her return in 5th, ahead of Elizabeth Meyer, Anna Fenstedt, Kim Marmons, and then Elena Tarachenkova and our rookie Anastasia Tsiganova. Jacqueline Laberge, 11th place. She will be happy with that. Disappointments for a couple further down the field, though, particularly Agathe Bessard, her first run undone in the first couple of 100 meters of her second heat. But that's the way it goes in the snow. Tina Hermann popped the groove in the first heat, still in medal contention, and sealed the deal with a track record in the second heat. So they move on next week to the oldest artificial track in the business, to Koenigsee, Bavaria, and that might be a happy hunting ground for Tina as well.
Well, 2 skeleton races today, 2 German victories.
Yeah, one a surprise, one a little less so. Tina Hermann now up to 2nd in the standings, ahead of Kimberly Boss, who is racing in Altenburg this weekend. She's not here. She drops to 4th behind Hermann and Lurling, but Janine Flock is still our World Cup points leader with 2 rounds to go, the final one of which will be incidentally in Innsbruck, where she had a bronze and a gold medal just a month ago. Those are the rest of our World Cup standings. So good to see North American sliders and Korean athletes back in the field here as well this weekend. That's it for skeleton here from St. Moritz. Saturday should be a sunny day. 2-man bob up first, then a monobob race in the late morning. Join John Morgan, me, Martin Haven, and the IBSF TV crew. Until then, take care, enjoy your Friday. We'll see you 08:30 GMT on Saturday morning.